What's up, YouTube? It's your boy from the Bay. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button.
Hey friends, D from the Bay here, and I am super excited because today I will be doing my very first ever D from the Bay review. So I will be doing my very first review right here with y'all about Bad Boys Season 1 Los Angeles only on the Zeus Network. So I'm super excited. They're coming out with Season 3 and I'm gearing up for it. I know you guys are excited for it. Shout out Lemmy Plumber, shout out Zeus Network. So I thought, why not start with season 1? Let's start with the OG season, see what these boys had coming for the first one and how it's going to change over time because the second one is very different. I'm sure the third one's going to be even crazier. So let's start with season 1, episode 1, Bad Boys Club, Los Angeles, only on Zeus Network. Okay, so let's start with the cast of season 1, Bad Boys Club, Los Angeles. First, we had Milan Christopher. So I do recognize him. He was from Love and Hip Hop. So I did watch that. It was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I think he was the first black out gay in a relationship on Love and Hip Hop and reality TV. So it was really cool to see that he was going to be doing this show because he was like the only person that I really recognized in the cast. Jonathan was not there the first episode, and neither was Rio. So it was just the remaining guys in this photo that were there. And Milan Christopher is one that I feel like I recognize that other people would recognize. So I feel like he was the star kind of power that they were bringing to the show to kind of get people to watch and be like, oh, I recognize him, because that's kind of what he was for me. Okay, so this is just my first impressions based off their photos because before I had seen the show, I had no idea who these people were. So Anthony, I had never heard of him, but I will say that he takes better pictures than he looks on video camera, if that makes any sense. Then we had William DeBattis. Never heard of him. Never. Dylan, never heard of him. Never heard of Curtis. Now, Carry On turns out to be somebody very, very interesting, but I did not know that until the show. Gutta K, didn't know. Never heard of Moolah. Never heard of Rio. But I did know where the money reside. I did know Darrell. I did remember his viral TikTok of where the money reside, where the money reside, and he popped out the trunk. Everybody knew that, so I did know Darrell. Then we have Jonathan. Jonathan was not there the first day, but obviously I did know him, so it was exciting to see that he was going to be on the show. I knew him from doing Celebrity Hair, and I was excited to see what he was going to bring. Okay, so on this part of the video, I am going to talk about their styles. Now, I don't have the best style in the world, but because they are bad boys and they're going on TV, I do expect, them to be held at a pretty higher standard. So I am going to be judging and rating y'all confessional looks because in the later seasons they bring in it. So ain't no excuse for the earlier seasons for you didn't think, I'm coming on camera, maybe I need to drip down. So let's go ahead and go through these confessional. Okay, so my rating system is going to be, we like it, it's gonna be drip. We don't like it, chop. Darrell, sorry, chop. William, chop. Gutta K, drip. Dylan, chop. Milan, drip. Moolah, chop. Carry On, drip. Anthony, drip. Curtis, chop. We start off the episode with the boys pulling up in all black cars. They got black trucks. They're fancy. They're expensive. And I think it's a pretty good intro. I'm not going to lie. They're pulling up into the middle of nowhere in California, obviously. Pulling up to this diner, and we learn that this is where they are doing their first ever Bad Boys promo shoot. Photo shoot. So it's very cool to actually see this. I wish the baddies would bring this back because I do miss when they would do photo shoots. So this was really cool and they entered in style. This is a theme that they continue on to season 2. So it was really cool to see how they have them pull up like this. Pull up, drip down. So we start out the episode and we're hearing these voiceovers from different people. I'm assuming it could be some of the cast, could be people that auditioned, but it's people telling them, the cameras, us, what they think a bad boy is, what they think a bad boy entails. And then the first person that we are introduced to is Carry On. So we learn that Carry On is 33 years old and he is from Texas. And the craziest thing about him is he is actually Kirk Franklin's son. Was super shocked to learn that. Kirk Franklin is big in the Christian music, like I'm not going to say gospel because I don't really know, but he's big into the Christian music. The fact that he had a son on Zeus Network who was on a show called Bad Boys, was Scandalo. El Scandalo.
Listen to it. Listen, church. Y'all still with me? Say amen if you're still with me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
We then hear Carry On say that he feels what makes him a bad boy is that he's not afraid to be himself. But as we learn later on in the season, he is kind of afraid to be himself, and living under a dad that he had, I can understand why. Um, but we'll talk about that later. Next, we have the number one club promoter in Texas, Anthony Uncensored. I didn't get an age for Anthony, but he is the number one club promoter in Texas. He owns the club, he promotes the club, and you can't go to the club unless you talk to Anthony. Anthony owns all the clubs in Texas. He's the number one club promoter ever, and you bitches wish you could. My first impression, we'll see what he gives, but so far, I'm not impressed. But I mean, he's the number one club promoter in Texas, so I'm a little impressed. Maybe a little. And Anthony said what makes him a bad boy is that he's self-made. Ain't nobody helped him. He's the number one. Next, we have the very controversial Natalie Nunn's ex-boy toy, Curtis. He said what makes him a bad boy is that he has multiple women. Multiple women want him, and that's what makes him a bad boy. We learn later that only Natalie Nunn owns that, and the way she keeps a tight leash, she was the only one. Trust and believe. Things get messy with Curtis, but not feeling it. Curtis is 27 years old from New York. He's a rapper, which we all know everybody's a rapper nowadays. So like you calling yourself a rapper with no, recognition of music for us to even recall or play back or say out loud, or don't even call yourself that, please. Just say you do something else. Entrepreneur. Now we have one of the two baddest white boys to ever grace Zeus's screens. We have Dylan. Dylan is 23. He's from Tennessee, and he's another club promoter. Now, he's not the number one club promoter in Tennessee. He didn't take all that credit. He ain't no Anthony. We all knew that. Like I told y'all, bitches could never. But he is a club promoter from Tennessee, and he's only 23, and he's one of the baddest. So we will see what's next and see if we complete the baddest duo. Dylan said that what makes him a bad boy is that he fucks bitches. Yeah, I'm just giving a second to find anybody out there that believes that. Anybody? I don't think so. Dylan is 23 and he's gay. Okay, sorry, y'all. The baddest wasn't next. But we do have Love and Hip Hop Hollywood's very own first gay black relationship. Milan Christopher. I think that's what he said. First gay black out person on reality TV, or I don't know what credit he tried to take, but I don't think it's credit that he was due. So yeah, that's who's next. Milan is 36 and he's from Chicago. Now, he didn't say what makes him a bad boy, but he did mention that he has been in a magazine that Nicki Minaj was also in before. So, if you ask me, that makes him pretty bad, I think. Next, we have Bird Eyes Moolah Mo. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful and call him Bird Eyes Moolah Mo, but he wants everybody out there to know that he is very, 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 very straight. He's the straightest man ever to exist. And that's why he came on to Bad Boys, because he wants everybody to know that he's straight and he owns a car dealership and a radio show, and he's a rapper, and he has a clothing line, and he owns a strip club, and he owns a pension plan, and he owns child support, and he has 4 kids with 3 different baby mamas, and he wants everybody to know that he is the straightest man out there with a clothing line. Now, this is the last time I'm mentioning this clothing line because he wears it every episode. Now, I will say that's what makes you a bad boy. The fact that you can get up in those ugly ass clothes and wear them every single episode to promote your clothing line, that's what makes you a bad boy. That's the hustle that you did. Not that you're the straightest man in the world, even though. Now, Bird Eyes said that what makes him a bad boy is that he went to prison for 5 years. So if he can go through prison, he can go handle anything. That lets me know that you found out you was straight in prison. I'll let you guys think about what that means. Next, we have Where the Money Reside himself, Mr. Durrell, aka Relly B, aka Dorisha, aka Two Rails from the Dells. Nah, but he's 24 and he's from Louisiana. And y'all know him from his very viral video, Where the Money Reside. So I do feel like they brought him for the social media people to come watch the show and recognize somebody. And I think he was there for comedic relief, which was great because every show needs that. So we did get Darrell for that. Okay, y'all, we finally did it. This is part 2 of Da Baddest, the duo. This is William Da Baddest. So William says that he runs LA. I don't think Natalie Nunn has passed down her throne yet, so I don't think you're the one that runs LA, buddy. But thank you. So William DeBattis is 28 years old, and he is from Louisiana as well. Very small town in Louisiana. So on the show, he says he's from LA, but he's actually from Louisiana. So William said what makes him a bad boy is being a rapper. So there's that again. And then being the thickest white boy. Last but not least, we have herself, Gutta K. So Gutta K is here. They are 21 from Michigan and currently live in Atlanta while filming the show. But they are here, they are turned, and they are queer. Gutta K comes in as the only femme presenting male to enter the house and stays as the only femme presenting male. He is pretty fluid, so he does switch back and forth between like a femme look and a masculine look, but we get more femme for this show. But it was exciting to see Gutta K, 21, young, known off of viral videos that were a little crazy, running through subways, sandwich stores, half naked, with your stuff out, and it was kind of crazy. But that was the times, it was crazy times right before COVID, and I think Gutta K showed that. Okay, so next we get the intro. It's like this rap song, and you could tell it's by Milan, and it's we get a bag, boy. Is you mad, boy? Get a bag, boy. Something like that. It's pretty dumb. But the very first person that we are introduced to is Andrew Codwell. So we did not get an introduction for him in the title sequence, and they did not really introduce him like they did the other ones. That's why I did not give him a green screen to talk about him. But Andrew Codwell is there. They are arguing with him. He is saying that he's the richest one. He's got all the sense in the world and nobody's better than him. And he's delivered. I'm going to let you sit on that. Also, let's see that he's really in a full church outfit with a very full fur coat. Very heavy, very hot, very middle of California, very desert. Doesn't make any sense. So we're seeing this argument take place between Milan and Andrew, and they're kind of going back and forth, talking about who's bigger star, who has more money. And Milan drops the ball and says that Andrew was in his DMs trying to, if you know what that is, trying to lick the lollipop. And Milan said he turned it down. Andrew tells him he's crazy and says, "We seen your corn tape and it's tired," which was kind of funny, but he said, "Yeah, we see your corn tape, it's tired." And this becomes one of the few times that we do get Milan pretending like he's gonna fight somebody. So he's acting all big, bad, and tough, and he's got his shirt off and his abs out, and he's beating on his chest like he's King Kong, and he's like, "Let's go, Andrew, let's go, take this." And Andrew's not buying it. Andrew's like, "Honey, I make too much money and I would never fight you. And honestly, I would sue your ass. So touch me if you want to." That's what it gave. So the scene kind of ends there, and then it takes us into the next day at a different photo shoot. And Andrew and the boys are still going back and forth. This time, other boys are in it. The two baddest boys are in it. The two white boys, they're mad too because Andrew says, "I'm the king of bad boys." And, everybody around ain't feeling that. Darrell gets into it, and he's like, "Nah, you're not the king of the bad boys." And Andrew says, "Honey, I make more money than you. You talking about where the money resides, but you ain't got no money." And he gagged me with that one, and I'm sure he gagged Darrell with that one too. Now, at this point, Andrew's going to prove he's the star. He's arguing with everybody. He's going back and forth with Getta K, the two white boys, Darrell. He says, I'm the star. This is y'all last gigs. I've been had money, been the star. But it comes to find out, spoiler alert, this is your last episode. And I don't think you should have been talking to them boys like that because you were shaking in your boots when they wanted to get your ass. So he wrote a check that he could not cash. He had no money in the bank account for that check. The check was too big, and I think he learned that maybe this was a bad idea. So this was hilarious. Then we go to this scene where Andrew is in front of the green screen and he's doing all these poses for his photo shoot. But Zeus is messy because they are going back and forth between different confessionals of the other boys, and they are reading Andrew for filth, talking about he's not delivered. The only thing he's having delivered is pizza. That he's saying he's saved, but he needs to save some pounds, and they're going in. They're going in on Andrew while he's giving this photo shoot. And Zeus, you're messy, but I love it. So I came back to get mine in there. Yeah, you over there looking like Patti LaBelle, talking about you saved, you delivered. Just because you can't find nobody that's attractive to you does not mean that you're saved. Just because you're not having, with anybody else does not make you celibate. They just don't find you attractive. They don't want that. You lied several times and said you were fly, and you are nothing of the sort. You're nothing of the sort. So for you to say that you are delivered is just a disgrace to the straight people and the gay people. And I'm glad you went home, because you was going to get that ass beat, and you would have deserved it. All on camera. They was going to tear you in half, and you would have deserved it. So goodbye. Everybody say goodbye to Andrew. So we finally see this big house that they're going to be staying in. And who do we see first other than the boss bitch herself? Oh, Miss Nunn, Natalie Nunn. She's sitting there. She's getting her makeup and her hair done. And she's kind of talking to the producers. And she's letting them know, like, this show is going to be wild. This is going to be like nothing they ever seen before. I don't plan on being here. I'm just going to give this house to the boys and let them do their big one. So it's exciting to see her. She's getting her chin reduced. And it's really nice to see that for her. Next, we pull up to the hotel where the boys are staying at, and they're finally getting on the Bad Boys Sprinter. Now, they don't have a big Bad Boys bus like they do on season 2 and how the baddies do in the later seasons, but it's still a nice Sprinter, and everybody's getting on to talk and get to know each other. This is the part of the episode where I feel like it is time to come dressed to impress. This is the time to wear your best garments, to dress up and drip down. And the only two that I really feel like did that this part were Milan and Anthony. Anthony and Milan are, they have money and they've been here kind of doing this before. So it kind of makes sense that they came dripped up. Everybody else kind of looks like they went to your local mall in LA and just picked up something at Champs and Sheen and Chic. That's what they look like they chose to wear. But I'm going to say this in the future. I think all the bad boys first episode, come dressed down, wear your best garments and be ready to show off. While we're on the bus, the boys take notice that Andrew is not there. And, they kind of talk about it a little bit, but then they end up paying it. And then Anthony takes the time to give the boys their flowers and their props and say, hey, we all came from a platform. Everybody's got that thing. Everybody's got that thing, putting that on. And I'm proud of y'all, us bitches and niggas. Now, the straight boys did not like when he said us bitches. They immediately did their Scooby-Doo and was alert to the bitches because they wasn't feeling that. I will say it is kind of crazy that the bitches bothered them more than the niggas because Anthony's Latino. So you shouldn't really be saying that, but whatever. Anyway, they were like, hell no. I know you did not just call us bitches. So they want to figure out who in this bus is straight and who in this bus is gay. And that's the only two things that exist. There is no in between. You're either straight or you're gay. So this is where Curtis and Moolah take the time to stand up and say, as the two most straight people that could ever exist, we want everybody to know that we are the straightest men in the house and we do not go that way at all. At all. Don't look our way. Don't breathe our way. We can fuck each other. But if y'all gay guys try to do anything with us, it's going to be funk on sight. So they must have smelt the gay coming off of Carry On because immediately they asked Carry On, hey, Have you ever messed with the guy? And, Carry On, he's a troll. So he was like, you know, not that I know of. Many things happen in the dark, so I'm not sure. Now, as a fellow gay man, I clock T and realize that he's saying, "Yeah, I have," and I'm not someone that's really out of the closet, so I don't care to share that information with y'all. But yes, I have. Now, the two straight boys did not get that. They didn't get that at all. They wanted it very plain and straight, and that's why you see Moolah Bird Eyes getting up in Carry On's face because he's very angry about it. He needs to know these answers, and he wants them plain. Are you straight or are you gay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts, no in betweens. So after a while, they started ignoring Carry On, and then they turned to Gutta K and they asked them, like, "Well, you're femme presenting, or like, are you trans? Are you what is it?" And Gutta K basically says, I can do both. I'm not trans. I'm not a trans person, but I can swap between, the femme and the masculine when I need to. Now, this is when Anthony's messy ass is going to turn to Milan and say, "If you could sleep with anybody on the bus, who would it be?" Now, we knew this is where he was going to get messy, and he was going to turn his attention straight to the back of the bus and point at the two straight guys in the back and say, "Yes, I would love to sleep with Moolah." Now, remind you, Moolah is the straightest one in the house, so you would think he would have got really, really mad off of that, but he gave a really cute little, like, flirty smile and was very proud that Milan said that out of all the boys in the house, he's the one that he finds the most attractive. He even did a confessional right after that and let it be known that, yeah, I'm very, very attractive, but I do not swing that way. I will also add that I do believe that this is the beginning of Mullah's villain origin story, his homophobic villain origin story. This is the part where it sets him off and it just gets crazier later from here. So they're talking about social media and stuff, and then they notice that Dylan has the baddest in his social media. And that kind of conflicts with William, who is the baddest on his social media. So they ask, out of the two white boys, who's the baddest? William clocks T right away, and he's like, "Yo, Dylan, like, they're trying to get us. We're the only two white boys in the house, so they're trying to get us to go at each other. Like, let's not fall for that." Dylan wants all the smoke. He don't give a damn what William's talking about. He's like, "Nigga, I'm the baddest. I'm the baddest white boy ever to exist. So if you're gonna be the baddest in here, you're baddest number two, and you need to know your place." So they pull up to the mansion. They're super excited, and Dylan's not letting it go. He's like, "Yo, William, like, if you want to fight, like, I need that." He's literally letting William know, "I'm the baddest. I'm gonna take that title, and I need that from you. So you gonna give me that?" William's kind of like not hearing it. He doesn't really want to do it. He's like, "No, I don't want to fight you." So Dylan proceeds to grab a brown bag that's in the front and chuck it right into William's face. The boys do a little windmill in the air, and then they take Dylan off the bus. The only thing that did hit William was that paper bag. But Dylan gets off the bus and talks about how he fucked him up and you just got fucked up. And you know how they talk. They talk, they talk, they talk, but it's really not true. That's not what happened. So Darrell and some of the other boys take charge and they go, "Yo, like, this can't be over. You boys need to get out here and settle this. Who is the baddest? Who's going to take the title?" So they get off the bus and they get ready to fight. They're squaring up and they aren't hitting each other. So Darrell's like, "Yo, if you guys don't start fighting, I'm going to fight one of y'all. And so get in there and start fighting." That finally makes them kind of go at it. They windmill the air again for a little while, and nothing really happens of that fight. They don't connect, neither one of them. They just are fighting the air. So Darrell says, "You know what? Fuck that. We need a fight, so let's fight. Me and you, Dylan." Darrell tears Dylan every way but loose, pushes him into the bushes. Dylan gets a cut on his cheek. He's sliced open, looking like the Joker. So he runs back to the fence on the side of the house and is ready to hop that fence and get the hell out of there. He's over, bad boys. This is not what he signed for. Mind you, he was talking a lot of shit before this, and I'll insert those clips.
I can't wait to beat that big bitch ass.
All the hair
Yeah,
on
I'm
his
talking
chin,
to you,
his
you
chin,
fat
oh.
ass bitch. You know what? Why we at it? You want to fight? You want to fight?
Listen, I
You
won't
want to
fight
fight?
these. I'd rather.
And as you can see, he was talking a lot of shit. But now that he has taste of a little bit of an ass whooping, he's done with the show. He's done with Zeus. He's done with everybody. So he's trying to hightail it out of there. So Natalie Nunn comes outside to the chaos. She's like, "What the hell is going on? Why is Dylan cut up? What is the fighting? What are you guys even fighting over?" So Darrell lets it not be known that, "Oh, you guys feel like it was unfair that I fought Dylan? Okay, well, William, me and you got to square up now." And he squares up with William, the baddest. This is another one where Darrell kind of just grabbed him and took him through there, and William really didn't do anything to defend himself. And so they slammed Darrell's drunk ass onto the ground. And this is Big Ant holding him down like, okay, you've done enough. You sit on the floor. You're in timeout. Natalie's pissed. She's over it. And Darrell's kind of feeling like, Natalie, this is what y'all wanted. So I don't know why you're so mad. This is exactly what you was doing when you was on the show. And this is exactly what we signed up for. It's bad boys, not fun boys, not be nice boys. This is bad boys. So they decide to put Darrell's drunk ass by himself on the bus. And Anthony and Milan come and want to have a talk with him. And they want to let him know, like, bro, you're tripping. The two white boys were fighting for the baddest tile. There was no need for you to jump in. And now you're kind of giving bully. Darrell's like, I don't really see what y'all talking about, but okay, whatever. If I'm giving bully, then I'll give y'all that. So after this, production lines the boys up and they kind of give Natalie a reintroduction to come out and talk to the boys. She comes out and she lets it be known, like, y'all are doing too much. Like, there's so much more that we have in store for you. And you guys are about to get kicked out on the first day before we can even start filming. Darrell's over it. As you could tell, he don't give a fuck. He's like, Natalie, you're just doing this, but I know this is exactly what you wanted. One thing that I thought was super hilarious is what Natalie said to them. And I'm going to insert that right here.
Touch or break anything in this motherfucking house, I'm finna have the whole LA up in this bitch on y'all asses. This is expensive shit in there.
So they let the boys into the house, and as you could see, it is a very, very big, beautiful house out somewhere in the LA hills. I think it is so nice, and the boys are very lucky that they have this big, beautiful house to explore and stay in for the next month or however long they're staying there. So as you can see, Lemon Pepper pulls these three boys to the side and they basically need to have a conversation about the fights and kind of squash the beef. And just Darrell kind of lets it be known, like, I already whooped both of y'all asses. Like, there's no need for me to continue to fighting. If y'all want to fight each other and decide who's the baddest, then go ahead. But I'm over it. And as you can see later on, these two kind of team up and become a duo, the two white boys. So the baddest team up, the baddest duo. So the two baddest white boys to ever exist end up rooming together. As you can see, William gets the bigger bed and Dylan gets the smaller bed, which, I mean, is kind of fitting because one's bigger, one's smaller. But they ended up rooming together, which I thought was very weird because didn't y'all just fight over who's the baddest? But like I said, they're the baddest duo. So Darrell ends up finding a room by himself, and there is two beds in there, and we don't see on the first episode who gets to share that room with him. But he does lay down so he can sleep his drunk ass and, sleep that off. Anthony, Curtis, Moolah, and Gutta K all walk into this room. Moolah claims it as his, and, he lays down on the bed, but Anthony, Gutta K, and Curtis came in there to talk to him. We see Curtis in a confessional basically admitting that the only person that he wants to share a room with is Moolah, and it's because they're both straight. Now, if that ain't the gayest thing I've ever heard, but whatever. So at this time, Moolah agrees with his boyfriend Curtis, and he lets it be known to Gutta K and Anthony that he only wants to be talking to Curtis right now. Anthony peeps game, and he's like, yo, that's coming off as homophobic. He doesn't really say that, but he does let it be known that, that's kind of weird, but we'll go ahead and leave. Him and Gutta K decide to just pay it. Now, this is the other part of Moolah's origin story for being homophobic, and Anthony is starting to clock T. He's starting to see that, wait a minute, a little bit of your feelings are kind of a reach, and you're starting to seem very homophobic. Then we jump into the biggest sexual chemistry in the house. We have Gutta K and Carry On, and they have found a room together. There's only a nice queen-size bed in this room, and they're kind of going back and forth about whose room it is and who gets to keep the room. Gutta K is putting on the flirting pressure. He's letting Carry On know, I want you, Kirk Franklin's son, I want you.
Mr. Kirk Franklin's son, boy, like, you know the fuck you is. Kirk Franklin's son, Carry On.
And Kirk Franklin's son is kind of letting him know, Carry On's letting him know, like, it ain't going to be none of that. None of that while I'm here. Now, if you can read between the lines, you can see that he's basically saying none of that on camera, but in the middle of the night while the cameras are not rolling, please come and sleep in my bed. Gutta K decides to pay it and go find himself another room. So, while they were outside, Natalie let it be known that there is only one master bedroom. Mulan quickly said that that's his, he's the baddest boy, and so that's his room, but Anthony feels the same way. I'm the baddest boy in this house, so that's my room as well. So Anthony got to the room first. He jumped on the bed and did break it. That's what you see over here. He did jump on the bed and break it. but said he would pay for it. And the producers was like, you know what, it's fine. So this is the fakest fight that we end up seeing on this show. They are fighting over the room. They kind of get into a little bit of a pushing match, and then security comes in and breaks it up. They kind of drag Anthony out, and he's holding Milan's chain, and he lets him know, bitch, if you want your chain, come get it, ho, and so I can get this room. But I feel like this was fake. I feel like they definitely rehearsed this, and Anthony let him have that room, and this was just a fake, like, ooh, let's have drama on the first day. So in the last scene, we see Natalie call her the very first infamous house meeting for the boys. And she lets them know, like, hey, we did speak to Andrew. We found him hiding at the airport. He was sitting there with his tail between his legs, and he was running away. Now, this took me the hell out because we do see Lemmy Plummer there, and he's sitting right across from Andrew, and he lets them know, like, where are you going? We're still filming a show. He also lets it be known that we paid you already, and you tried to cash that check today. And Andrew says, that was yesterday. And Lemmy goes, the bank said it was today. So what's going on? This is where we get the infamous line of Natalie where she says, that is not what the fans want to see. This is exactly what the fans don't want to see.
That's not a bad boy, and that's not what the fans want to see. That's not what the fans want to see. It's literally what the fans don't want to see. Do you understand? Like, that's not what they want to see.
So they basically understand that Andrew's not coming back. He's off the show, and it is just going to be the boys that are here that are going to be the show of the house, as far as they know. So Milan feels like he didn't get his star show time for the episode, so he takes the time to turn around again to Darrell and say, I feel like you were bullying those white boys by jumping in their fight. Now, Milan and Anthony already talked to them. Natalie didn't talk to him. They even got over it themselves. So Milan is just inserting himself in this for no reason because he wants to make a moment. He wants to have a moment. So he proceeds to the drink that he's holding to turn around and throw it right into Darrell's face. Darrell's about that action, so he immediately starts swinging on Milan, and Milan was not ready. As you see, he got snatched bald. We didn't even know he was bald until this very moment, and Darrell kind of tore him and took him through there. And this is where the episode leaves off. So joining me again, you guys, for episode 2. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are enjoying my review and looking forward to the very new 3rd season of Bad Boys that's coming out. I'm super excited. I'm definitely going to be reviewing that as well. So yeah, let's talk in the comments what you guys think of this season. This is a free episode that you can watch on YouTube. So if you guys want to watch it and talk about it, let's do it.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.